Good evening, good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
I believe we're now live. So, hi there, everyone. It's so lovely to see you all here. Gerald, it's lovely to see your lovely face here. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good, good. And you're very welcome. Thanks very much for joining me again. Um, yeah, I'm quite excited to do this because, I mean, as much as I've done some roundtable readings before, I've not. This is the first time I've done someone for the second time round, so we'll see. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, how you feeling about this? Are you excited or?
I'm very excited because I did really well up until actually about 2 weeks ago, where I hit a stall,
Right.
and I'm okay with the stall
Okay.
once I realized that, wait a minute, sometimes you just have to pause a bit. But
Yeah.
like I was telling you, we did this last time on January 7th, 2021. So
Yeah.
we are, 7 months into it.
Yeah. That's true. Very true. I'm
Incredible.
really excited. Excited to see what my nosy little cards are going to say about you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Whoops. So, I
Yeah.
suppose, is there any admin things I want to cover off first? I guess just I'm conscious that it's been quite a long time since I've done a roundtable reading, so I wanted to just kind of take a wee minute to either refresh everyone's memory, or if there's new people here that haven't seen this before, just explain what it's all about. So. You'll probably have gathered by now that I love doing readings. Like that's kind of my passion. It's how I connect to, these cards. It's how I connect to what we're doing here. Um, and if I often find that if I'm going through a bit of a slump where sometimes you just can't be bothered. For me,
Mhm.
picking up the cards and doing readings for people is generally how I get my mojo going again. So so I was doing like kind of a free readings online, like a few of us do now. Um, but I was conscious that I wasn't really getting much opportunity in doing that. Like there wasn't much opportunity to do like a full reading for someone and have this back and forth that that I feel that a tarot reading should be. It should be a conversation between the two rather than just wham bam, thank you, ma'am. There you go, that's your reading. That's us done. Move on to the next one. Um, so I wanted to kind of I was like it was brainstorming. I think I was actually on Robin's channel at the time on Toadstool Tarot. I was brainstorming how I could go about doing that, and that was that was when Roundtable Readings was born. So the idea behind it is the lovely Gerald has brought a question, and I'm going to get him to tell us what his question is in just a second, and we're going to do a full reading. I'm going to turn on the table cam, and card by card, we're going to go through it together. But it's not just me giving Gerald the reading. So this isn't just about you watching me giving him a reading. This is, a collaborative thing. It's called round table readings for a reason. We're
Mhm.
all the readers of the round table, and we're all going to contribute to it. So when I when I'm putting down each card, after I've said my bit and me and Gerald have had a bit of a chit chat about it, I'm going to turn it over to the chat and find out what you guys think. And highlight your comments and whatnot. So we're all giving Gerald this reading. So he's basically getting it from all angles here.
Yeah.
Probably not my best choice of words, but we'll leave that there. Um, so yeah, Gerald, do you want to tell us? It's probably best if you refresh us about what your question was back in the January 7th, and tell us what we're doing today.
Okay. So in January, I talked about my word of the year. Look, I have a little tag. My hashtag word of the year 2021 is step. So the as in the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And so we got an idea of what depth I could have with that and what I could learn. And this is a checkup on that because I've gone through lots and lots of things where I've given myself stars for accomplishing things, the little steps. But I hit a stopping point, actually July 7th, which is interesting because we did this on January 7th for So I hit a stopping point. So, like a refresh, reset, get some more insight on it. So,
Yeah. It's funny that because way back on January 7th when we did this, you did say to me at the time we should do a 6-month check-in.
yep,
And it's funny that exactly at the 6-month point, that was when you hit your stopping point.
yep.
Um, so, but yeah, so that's Gerald's question. We're basically doing a check-in on where he is with his progress on his word of the year being step. So if you've watched me do this before, then you'll kind of know what's coming next. But the first thing that I do is I like to pull a card from the soul cards. Okay, and this is soul cards 1 and 2. I've got them all together as one big deck. So I'm going to shuffle these and I'm going to pull one. And if you've worked with soul cards before, you'll know that there's no keywords, there's no set meanings as to what the cards mean. We're basically just going to say what we see in relation to Gerald's question. And then we'll do the reading with the tarot cards, and then we'll come back to the soul card at the end and see if we've got any kind of insights on it. Okay.
I remember looking back at the last one, and it was interesting because the soul card understanding of the soul card kept getting larger and larger and deeper as the reading went. It was really incredible.
Yeah, I love Deborah's decks, not just soul cards, but portals of presence as well. I've found that working with them, it's quite good to, like, if I pull 3 cards every day, 3 tarot cards every day,
Mm-hmm.
see if you pull either a portals of presence or a soul card after those 3 cards. Quite often it will give you kind of like a really deep insight into the soul card, and vice versa. The soul card will give you deep insight into your question. It works really well. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I would encourage anyone who has these decks to do.
Cool. Yeah.
Let me just do a wee bit of jiggery pokery here. Um, do some admin stuff. So I am going to. What am I going to do? What are you doing, Chris? What are you talking about? So yeah, that is where we want to be. And then I think I want to have this one. So you can
Ooh.
see me, I'm just a wee person in the corner. Let's move this up, just because I'm a wee bit pedantic like that. I like things to be. There we go. So you can see the soul cards in front of us here. So we're going to pull a soul card first of all. And yeah, let's see what we think about it.
Excellent.
So do you have soul cards, Gerald?
I do, and I have the
Yeah.
portals, but I have not worked with any of them a lot.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
and I did when I got when I got the soul cards. I was like, going, I gotta have both decks. It just feels
Yeah.
incomplete. So
Yeah. Oh, do you know what I've not done? I've not said hi to everyone. I got so excited that Gerald was here that I forgot to say hello. My sincere. Do you know? I was just thinking. I hope that everyone can hear me, and then I thought, oh, I've not even looked at the comments. How rude of me.
yeah,
Right, let's do a quick register. So Scott at Scorpio Moon Tarot. Good evening, Scott. Hang on, I'll let you.
Neem is here. Neem, everybody join me.
How many cards have you
Neem.
got? Hi, Neem.
Yeah.
We've got the lovely Tangie. We've got the lovely Gerald from Tarot's Dash. We've got Debbie from Aquarius Owl. We've got Papermoon Tarot. Papermoon Tarot votes for Tarot Sachet. Justin Michaels here. Hi, Justin. We've got the lovely Simon from the Hermit's Cave. We've got Light Energy 555, Silent Tarot. We've got Sandra from the Whispering Well. We've got Jackie Jacaranda. And we're just getting doublers now. Oh, there's Tarot Sachet. Asking ye shall receive.
Oh, I just got a pop of the of a notice of our going live.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I suppose it's a good thing that I've not started yet then, hasn't it? V Kestrel's here. Hi V. We've got Jonathan Daly. Hi Jonathan. Do you know I'm really susceptible to missing Jonathan because his name. See, because there's Jackie, there's Justin, and there's Jonathan, and their names are kind of a similar in length, and they're all blue on my screen or like on my chat. They kind of all like I'm glossing over them as though they're all the same person, but they're not. They're really not. Um, but I've got them all, so we're good. Thanks, Gerald. You entertain the masses with your various props. Deanne from Blue Crescent Tarot. Hi, Deanne. How are you? Apparently, Ryan, Deanne's husband, says jiggery pokery now. Sorry, that was maybe chuckle. Oh, there's Neem. I think that might be us. Is that everyone? Oh, Mitchell Osborne. Hi, Mitchell. How are you doing?
Hi, Mitchell.
I think that's us. Okay. Elemental Cartomancy, Tarot Stat. Oh, thank you. If someone could put a wee link to Tarot Stash in the chat, that would be great. One of my lovely mods. Oh, just will stab, just fire cards left, right, and centre here.
Yes, Sandra. Gerald's props. It's interesting because before a live, I'm like going, ooh, what props might I need? So they're within arm's reach. So, but let's not give them all away, right?
Do you know what I would love to see the other side of your camera because you must have like 100 bits of paper in front of you because you're always like ready to get. You always have the bit of paper like readily accessible.
I actually have this set up. And then I have a little drawer that has all sorts of little pieces of paper. and then I have blank pieces of paper with a marker that I can make a new one.
Yeah.
So, there's always an opportunity. And once I make a piece of paper, I don't discard it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Right. We're done with the shuffle. The shuffle's good. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Right, okay. Okay. So let me hold this up so you can all see it. So the first thing that I saw, and I didn't even see the wee kind of a demony person down here at first. All I saw was the kind of the being in light, and right away I thought sacred pause. Now I think that is because the last thing we talked about with your question was the on July 7th, the kind of a pause that you've taken. And what I want to say right away, looking at that card, is do you know what? It's okay because sometimes we need to take a pause.
Yeah.
We can't constantly be productive 24/7. I know that we want to, and depending on, how like with some people, they feel as though they need to be productive. Otherwise, what's the point? It's a waste. But I think that's too harsh. I think we need to have time to sit in our pants on the couch, put our feet up, and just stare into space sometimes. Like I think that we need to take that pause. Maybe calling that the sacred pause is going a wee bit too far, but I think sometimes we need that rest period. So that was what I wanted to say. When I kind of take a broader look at the card, we obviously do see the kind of a shadow side of it. We see that this person is perhaps kind of taking some time out to deal with some shit that needs to be dealt with. And maybe it wasn't their intention when they took that stop, that actually there was going to be some stuff that they had to deal with. But it's kind of like right now, this person still is dominating the card. But what I would worry about is if this wasn't dealt with, how out of control can that get? Because that little demon looks pretty, looks as though they could be pretty nasty if they're not, just brought under control a wee bit. So I think there's definitely, value in taking a rest from time to time, and I don't want you to be too harsh on yourself for feeling, for doing that every now and then.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm done talking. I want to hear what you think, Gerald.
Well, and I'm looking at it, and the card may be half light and half dark, just about
Yeah.
visually.
Yeah.
And I also agree with the sacred pause, but that also suggests that with what's hidden in the shadows, the need to not pause too long. It
Okay.
pause long enough to refresh, and then keep going in the work that needs to be done. That's how it really works. So
Okay. So can I suggest something to that though?
yeah.
Do you see this person, right? Do you see you have the light background kind of at the border of the card here, but the background around them
Mm-hmm.
is shadowy.
Right.
That, to me, that person is taking a pause specifically to come into that shadow realm and deal with some stuff. You
Uh-huh.
know, I don't think that they're taking a pause and they're going to miss what's happening over here. To me, it's like they've taken a pause from being over here where all the action's happening to come over here and deal with what's going on here. And we see them with this really kind of a closed eyes, reflective look about them, because quite often when dealing with demons, we're not talking about literal physical monsters. We're talking about kind of our inner demons, and it does take for this kind of a this to be this kind of a zen state in order to in order to kind of power through that.
Uh-huh.
Um, but um, I don't I wasn't I'm not I don't mean to contradict you or anything. That wasn't what I meant. But I just wanted to kind of point that out because to me they've come over to deal with this.
They've
You know.
they've yeah, they've gotten enough of their own light to be willing and able to go into that darkness.
Yeah.
I agree with you. What I find interesting is that just what you said adds to it in the sense of you know balance it. Uh, um, there's that toxic happiness, that toxic being too happy all of the time, and not
Yeah.
being realistic.
Positivity.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What about our lovely readers of the round table? What do you guys think? So I should have said at the start, but any kind of a comments that you're wanting me to highlight, it would be really helpful if you could pop them in capital letters if YouTube will let you. I know sometimes they take a wee bit of an issue with capitals, but yeah, capital letters or tag me at Elemental Cartomancy, but capitals is best because I'm mainly working off StreamYard for these. So let me have a look down and see what we're all saying. So I think there's lots of hellos happening. So I can see where Mitchell's come in. So I'd got to there. Um, Scott has to run. You enjoy the rest of your day, Scott.
Mhm.
Mitchell, Jackie, lovely Jackie's put in a link for us. I think that's to your channel. So thanks very much for that, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Stephanie's here saying hello to everyone. Justin. So I get a vibe of receiving wisdom and rejection of negativity from this card.
Mm.
And Jonathan says, I see him embracing his light by embracing his shadow. That's
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah.
Stephanie's asking, what is this deck? This is Soul Cards 1 and 2, all put together into one deck, Stephanie. So you can see here, it's a big chunker of a deck, and I've got, the both of them, 1 and 2, in together. What I will maybe do is pop your question in the I'll pop it on as a ticker going along the bottom,
Okay.
Gerald, and that way. So if I edit this, in fact, no, I'm going to leave that there. If I edit this, check.
We'll be entertaining as you do that.
Thank you.
Do we look alike?
Absolutely, I can barely tell the difference.
Everybody wants one now. Yeah. I'm going to be getting a biscotti baby here coming up soon. So maybe they'll be able to hang out together. That'd be sort of cool.
Right, Gerald's question, word of the year, a step. We're doing a check-in on progress, and I'm going to say, please post any comments in capital letters. Right, sorry guys, that's something I really should have done before.
Tangi suggested that they should name an IKEA drawer after you, Gerald. The Stache.
Right, let's see. Justin. When hands are open, it suggests receptivity. They are receiving knowledge, but the creature isn't able to penetrate because of the purity of whatever is being channeled.
Hmm.
Yeah. Stephanie said, "Oh my god, a troll!" At first, I thought there was a troll in the chat, and I was like, "I mean, touch wood. I don't really very often get trolls, but no, we're talking about Taro Sashu." Right, okay. If there's any further thoughts on the soul card, and I've got Gerald's question scrolling along the bottom, so anyone who comes in at some point and I've just froze in a not so flattering position. Let's see, deactivate and then activate again. We're back. That might happen a few times actually. My camera has a tendency to do that. But yeah, if anyone has any comments, then just pop them in and I'll read them out. Okay, let's stick that. Where am I going to stick that? I'll pop it there for now. So we're going to be doing the Celtic Cross for Gerald, guys. We're going to be doing specifically Rachel Pollock's version of the Celtic Cross. So don't worry too much about position meanings because I'll talk everyone through what the positions are as I'm laying the cards out. I'm going to have to shut that door. Give me 2 seconds.
And we're using the Tarot of the Abyss to actually... I was just sharing that we're using Tarot of the Abyss.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Stephanie. So Stephanie says, I don't often get to attend your round tables. Are these cards being drawn for Gerald? Yeah, they are. So we're doing a reading for Gerald here. This is going to be a Celtic Cross reading for Gerald. You can see his question scrolling along the bottom. Yeah, we're all going to be reading for him. So it's not just me giving him a reading on my own. Everyone, I'm interested in what everyone's got to say about each of the cards that's pulled. So we're going to go through it one card at a time. Starting with, so we're doing the Celtic Cross, so we're going to be starting with the first card in the centre, which for me is kind of like the inner. It's about, what's going on deep down, and then to explain why it means that. The second card that lies across it is going to be more surface level. So this is where we get to take a look at just Gerald in general, and see, right, how does the inner balance with the outer. So for example, these two cards might tell us that Gerald wants to fight off demons deep down, but on the surface level he's too bogged down with everyday work and stuff like that. Gerald's retired, so that's not what the cards are going to tell us, but that's just an example. It gives us an idea of how things are balanced, and right away, it gives us something that we can kick off from and talk about. So we'll start off with the first card. One more shuffle and then we're done. Okie dokie. Oh, look at that. What a lovely card to start on. Look at the star. So Gerald, you're laying these cards out in front of you as we're doing this, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. So can everyone see that okay? We've got our our figure here who's reaching up for the star in the sky. And this card is supposed to represent how Gerald feels, about the question and just in general, kind of at the deepest level. So there's definitely a lot of hope there. There's this feeling of reaching for something, reaching for, like, looking for guidance, perhaps. Um, Often with the star, though, I do feel as though, like, you feel as though it's out with yourself. You're looking for something out with yourself, and quite often what I do when the star comes up is I might gently, just ask the person whether they truly believe in what it is that they're doing, whether they believe in themselves. Okay,
Mhm.
because if we're looking to the stars for answers, and there are some things that are beyond us, and we do look for answers out with ourselves, and that's healthy, that's normal. But it's always just for me, it's always just a good point to check in on. So how do you feel about getting the star to represent kind of the inside, the gooey insides of Mr. Gerald Stash?
I actually really like that. This is the card. When I look at the star, I think of this is divine blessing. This is the universe and divinity supporting me and who I am authentically. So having that as the inner, I think that's really powerful in my mind.
Okay.
What will be interesting is how it manifests on the outward, on the outside.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the star is a card of healing. All right. So when you think about where it comes in the majors, it comes straight after the tower. So you've just been blasted out of that tower, or you've just blasted apart your tower that you've worked so hard on, but you've realised that something had to give. So you've
Right.
made that decision to bring down the tower. But either way, you're kind of left feeling a bit shell shocked, a bit, just about, gee, so what's happened there? And the star is just that kind of that healing light, that glimmer of hope in this dark sky. You see this kind of this star, and it's like, right, okay, do you know what? I can fucking do this. I'm going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. It's that kind of a first, yeah, do you know, I'm feeling all right during those dark times. So I agree. It's a lovely, lovely card to have,
Hmm.
for deep down on the inside.
Yeah.
Um, let's see what our lovely readers have to say about that. Rosine, hi. So, Laurie, I'm not doing readings generally today. This is a round table reading we're doing for Gerald, and we're all doing it together. Um, oh, Mr. Ritchie has popped in. Hi,
Hi, Rick.
Richard. Uh, so I feel like the very first card at the top is sort of pushing away. Oh, so we're still talking about that. It's pushing away something or being unsure, but the star is where we're grasping for an alternative answer of some kind.
Hmm.
Right, okay. I see what you mean. There is a contrast there because where this person is kind of a reaching into the darkness, this person is reaching from the darkness to the light. So there is a kind of they're balancing each other there. That's quite cool. Hi, Mendy. Uh, Chat jumped.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's quite difficult at the start because you're trying to kind of navigate past all the hello, all the
Yeah.
highs,
Hi, Mindy.
hellos and stuff. Um, Hi, Govinda, how are you doing?
Hey.
Uh, Jonathan says the star Gerald is being guided by his inner light.
Hmm. Which is interesting because as we talked about being bright for in the soul card, being bright and full of light, and then being willing to step into the darkness, I think that's a nice compliment to that.
Yeah,
So visually it's a nice compliment between the soul card and the star, because it's like if you were to look at it, the star possibly could be what's going on in the soul card,
yeah,
from a great distance. I'm
yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
visual, I'm a visual guy.
yeah. Same. Um, Tanji says, "Step out of the dark and into the light. let the star lead the way for you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Shall we have a look at the second card?
Do it.
So, like I say, this is the more of the kind of a outer. So this is how Gerald's manifesting things on the outside. So this is generally what, if you meet Gerald in person, this is the kind of thing that you would expect to see. This is the Gerald that we expect to see, and we've got our very handsome King of Wands, of course.
Mm.
And the King of Wands for me is I really like this card. The King of Wands for me is all about balance. It's about knowing when to act and knowing when not to act. Um, when something needs to be done, the King of Wands it has that fire element behind him, and he's got the energy needed to get that shit done, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But equally, he's a king. He has that kind of a social responsibility to him, and sometimes he can find it a wee bit difficult to take a seat, to kind of a step back a wee bit, and take some time to oversee his kingdom. I would probably say more than a lot of the cards, the King of Wands is most conflicted with his position as a king. He's fire. He's got all this kind of energy built up within him, and he wants to be using that energy. He doesn't really want to be stuck on a throne watching other people do the work. He's built his life through doing the work himself. He's built a whole career out of it, and he taking that step back and having to kind of a delegate can be quite difficult for him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I was speaking in analogies there. I was talking about the figure on the card, but obviously we're talking about your good self here, Gerald. So what do you think about having that as? Do you think Jeffrey would agree that you're the King of Wands?
Maybe certain parts actually are. I think with the King of Wands, I also see there's some maturity about being able to balance that heat and that creative energy. And there has to be, because when that fire burns too brightly,
Yeah.
it burns things that it doesn't mean to burn.
Yeah.
And when we look at this card, there's the lemniscate
Yep.
between his hands,
Yeah. Let me just hold that nice and close so everyone can see it.
and it's a working with the fire instead of actually just trying to allow the fire to burn. It's sort of using it to become part of it and to distribute it appropriately.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
it's a nice pair. It's a nice pair there.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a lovely pair.
Hmm.
While embracing the darkness, for without darkness there is no light, and all that mushy stuff, says Tanji.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tanji's got the Wizard of Oz song.
Yeah.
You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, step into the light, walk up to the gate, and was that boss it open?
I
I
don't.
don't know what BOS
When I think
means.
of BOS, I think of Book of
Book of
Shadows.
Shadows. Yeah, me too. Let's see what else we've got. So Jonathan says, interesting that you get the King of Wands right after your Wands talk yesterday. That's right.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there's another Wands talk next Tuesday at 4. So
Oh, is that be good?
yeah, it's going to be the actual show and tell, all show and tell, because we had lots of Wands to show.
I'm sure you did. Tony says the King of Wands shows off his spiritual nature and is very comfortable in his own skin. I mean that's true. That is definitely you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We do all see your spiritual nature, and I mean, you definitely come across as being very comfortable in your own skin, and it puts me at ease. It makes me feel comfortable in my own skin, just like kind of seeing you. So I would totally agree with what Tony says there.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and that's been a work in progress. So
yeah,
I mean, that's taken a lot. Thank
Mendy
you.
says 100% see Gerald as the King of Wands. He is creative energy personified. Gerald is the King of Wands. I mean, I think basically the consensus is we could just kind of change the words down here to Gerald. Really, I think that seems to be what everyone's comment is.
Okay.
Plus, he's got a kick-ass wand for real. My goodness, you've been
Yeah.
sending Mendy inappropriate pictures again.
Well, no, everybody saw it. She's just jealous of my wand that has all 4 elements to it.
Were you trying to show something there? Sorry.
No, well, I think, I'm also looking at these 2 cards together, and what I actually see is the king is actually doing some sort of magical work. He's actually doing some fire energy and firework, fire spell. And the
Definitely.
star is the spiritual manifestation of that. So it's like the 2 of these are out in the woods doing some magic together. And the king is actually working the physical magic, and the star is the spiritual aspect of it. It's the manifestation.
Yeah, definitely. And if you look at it in the order that they came, it kind of looks like she's extracting, she's kind of gaining energy from that star, and then you could see it as he's kind of outputting that to create this fire, So you gain this energy, you kind of extract this energy from within, because this is the within card, this is the inner card, the unconscious card, and then you manifest that in the kind of in the more outer physical world for us all. And you do that, like everybody's saying. I mean, I don't need to go through all the comments again, but everyone's totally agreeing that this is what you do. So yeah, that's a stunning start to the reading, I think. Let me see. Justin, yes. Hello. It takes maturity to stay loyal to your values.
Thank you, Justin.
He's so King of Wands, so much energy, so much personality, so much good advice. So you, Gerald, says Richie.
Thanks.
Masha's popping in for a few minutes just to say hello before she's off to teach for the day. That's exciting. You enjoy, Masha. I hope you have a good day.
Lucky students.
Yeah, I know. Let's see what else I've got. I like cool ones and I cannot lie, says Tanji. Robin has just popped in to say hello, boot my wand, and then dance out again. That sounds filthy. Oh dear, Gerald showing his wand again, says Gov.
Not yet.
Oh, no.
It'll be
we've taken this to a place.
Yeah.
Justin, Gerald is comfortable in his own skin, but he is loyal to his own values. That's what the cards are telling me. What I know about him.
Thank you. And okay, so I'll be open. And because I was on Masha's channel on Tuesday, and when she invited me, she asked me, well, what topic do you want to talk about? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what I offer to the tarot community. And Masha didn't even miss a beat. She's like, going, well, you're really inclusive. You build community. You make connections. We're there. And it was like, I do that. Okay. So it's hard to, sometimes it's difficult for me to see that. So I appreciate hearing this. It's very nice.
Good.
It's very nice.
Tony says, Gerald, congratulations on being able to achieve your rock star status.
Woo!
Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah.
Kristen can't stay long, but glad to pop in for a bit. Kristen, I hope you're doing okay. and I'm thinking about you. Stephanie feels like they've been seeing a lot of the King of Wands lately. Lately. Um, Danielle, hi all, glad I found this. I love that he's the King of Wands. I see him as such a great mage, and I see him for his willingness to share and pass on knowledge.
Aw, thank you.
There it is, fanning the fabulous.
It's drama. I mean, it's so hot here with all the fire, right? The wand,
Yeah.
and then the star. It's like, wow.
I know, all this energy.
Yep.
Right, okay. So we've got our first two cards. Let's move on to the third one. Now the third one is going to go below, and it's basically going to kind of tell us what's at the root of everything. I usually use it as the root card. So this is kind of this is going to be a good insight into, the first reading that we did, I feel, into the question that was asked then and the insight that we got. And I guess just how that's kind of progressed over the last, nearly 7 months now. So let's see what we've got. Oh, we've got the Eight of Cups. So interesting for me, the Eight of Cups is about being comfortable in your own skin, kind of like we've all been saying, but knowing when either something isn't right or when something, maybe just a wee something's missing. And not being afraid to basically step out the door and go and search and find what it is that feels as though it's missing. It's one of those things. I know there's something not quite right, but I can't quite put my finger on it. And it's the difference between like kind of a just staying in stagnation, which could maybe be like your Four of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is you've got the courage to actually step out of that door to say this wine tastes like shit. I'm just going to, I've had enough,
Yeah.
and I'm walking out and I'm going to go find my star. So that's what that says to me, which is interesting. It's a bit of insight for me. Tell me what you think about that. Does that feel relevant as in being the kind of a route?
It totally does, because as I said, it was 7 months, and then I went, what I have been doing has been okay. And so I hit a stall, or I actually pressed pause. I had the sacred pause, and I've been okay with that. There's because I had actually been doing daily writing for 466 days,
Right.
and I stopped that. So I stopped that, and I did check in. I looked inside the cup, and I went like, do I want to keep drinking this, or do I want to go get something new? And the answer was, I want to get something new. So I turned over the cup, washed it out, and I'm ready to fill it up. And the face, she looks, they look pretty. They're okay with it.
Yeah, she's quite content, isn't she? She's kind of confident. She's got a confidence about her,
Yeah.
confidence in herself and in her decision that she's made. So yeah, no, I'm glad that resonates. That's really good. Let's see what everybody else thinks.
Stephanie, this is the root cause of the question, or the check-in, right?
Yeah. So yep. Stephanie says, I feel like the King of Wands is really trusting. Jackie says, thwack it out, Gerald. That was a proper thwack. Do you know, I would kill for one of those fans right now. I am absolutely roasting. Let's see. It was only a brief show, you tell him, Jackie. She's clarifying the fan. The King of Wands is my daily pool today, says Regina. Hi, Regina, by the way, how are you? The reading is so consistently about direction, says Justin. What deck is out? Page of Swords. What deck is our Page of Swords using today? Is that me? If you mean me, I'm using the Tarot of the Abyss by Anaturian. This is an absolute stunner of a deck, by the way. If you don't have it, then look into getting it because it's a powerful one. The first reading that it gave me, I'm not going to say it moved me to tears because I don't very easily get teary about things, but there was definitely an emotional reaction, and I'm not the kind of person that gets that easily. So yeah, sorry. So what is the topic of this position? Just missed. I think did you answer that? Yeah.
Yep.
Comfortable walking away, Stephanie says.
Mm-hmm.
Justin says, whenever I look at that card, I think of her as walking out of a toxic relationship. Okay. I think these days it's vital for self-care, says Stephanie. Absolutely. Regina's doing good. That's good to hear. Richie says, I love you, but you can get my fan. That's okay. That's okay. I don't think I've ever used a fan in my life, to be fair. I've got a big electric one, like right there, but the problem is I've had to unplug it to plug in the lamp. So, yeah. Champagne problems, eh? Tony says, didn't flinch at being called the Page of Swords. No, I don't know. I don't really have a particular court that I tend to identify with, that I stick to. Maybe the Page of Cups more, because I think of myself as being sometimes quite emotionally immature. But and kind of a walkabout with my head up my arse. But other than that, no, I think I probably kind of take on all of the courts at one point or another.
Okay, I don't see you as the Page of Cups. My experience of you, there's much more maturity about your emotions than that's what you convey. Whether or not that's reality, you convey more confidence in your emotions, Chris. So
Right.
I'll push back
you.
a little bit on that. So I'll get all King of Wands on you.
Thank you very much. Neem says, Justin, that is definitely Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah, that's the one where she blows up the car, right? Afterwards.
Right, okay. Are there any superstitions about fans, asks Regina. I'm not sure. I don't know any.
She's asking because tomorrow she and I are on Longman Tarot talking about superstitions.
Oh, that'll be good.
So,
God, it's been a while since I've seen your beautiful face, Regina. Like on a live. I've been seeing a lot of your hands and your cards lately, but not your face. So I'm excited for that. Like genuinely excited for it. No, but there's a lot of what is that word? Coquettish.
Coquettish.
Coquettish. What does it mean? That's the first time I've ever heard that word. Richard, you a fancy bitch. It takes a lot to outward me, let me tell you.
Woo! And we were here, ladies and germs. All right, everybody. People, there you go. It's the sort of being shy, but actually being smarter and wiser than what you're putting off. It's the, it would be me doing this. Coquettish would be a great description for tarot sachet.
Right, okay. Oops. Why does no one in the UK own an AC unit? Asked the cards, lol. The reason, Justin, is because we would only need it a couple of days out of the year, and there is absolutely no point. Plus, we love to whinge about the weather. We love to moan when it's too cold. And we love to moan when it's too warm, and your stinky AC unit will take that away from us. That's why. Just listening in, so haven't seen chat much. I came back, and when Stash said he wrote 466 days consistently. He's my inspiration for that. That was Neem that said that.
And Neem actually has filled a journal with that, and I believe still using stickers for rewards.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. You know, Neem could come on my channel and we could talk about the power of writing and using stickers, right, Neem? Right?
Yeah, Neem. Yep. Yep. Don't make him get the post-its out again.
Yes, so
Um,
language to fans as well as flowers and stuff. So
yeah.
and Jackie actually said coquettish, coy.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you, Jackie.
Oh.
Do you know what? I'm going to move myself. I hope I don't give all whiplash, but I'm going to move myself over because I want to. I want to put a card over here. I'm still here. Just moved to the other side. Okay. The next card is going to be the kind of a past events card. It's the card that's going behind the cross in the middle. So we're looking at like things that have happened and the kind of a recent-ish past that are feeding into the current situation, to the current question. Okay. And we've got the Knight of Pentacles. So let me just hold that up for you all. So that's interesting because you were talking about like kind of taking a bit of a pause. We saw that reflected in the Soul card, and now we're getting our Knight of Pentacles. Now, for me, the Knight of Pentacles is always because the Knights I associate with fire, but no matter what element you associate them with, we think of the Knights as being on horseback. We think of them being as like being full of energy, like they're the ones out of the court that are getting shit done. They're the worker bees. They're the ones that are doing everything. And then we come across this fellow, and compared to his three peers, he's like really kind of a slow moving. He's probably not slow moving when you compare him to, for example, the Page of Pentacles. But when you compare him to the other knights, he seems like an absolute slowpoke. It's like the race between the tortoise and the hare. So quite often it can be easy to become frustrated with this kind of energy because you keep telling yourself, I should be doing more, I should be expending a lot more energy than what I am, I should be moving faster. Look at all of those other people, they can all do it. Why am I, why am I taking this stop? And this pure and simple reason is it's for perspective. It's because for the for the Knight of Pentacles, they've always got the end game in sight. The Knight of Pentacles doesn't want to spend, all of their day's energy or all of their money or whatever it is, all of the resources, unless they know that there's something greater in it for them, unless they know that it's serving their greater purpose. And that is why quite often we see the Knight of Pentacles stopping, maybe kind of just standing next to his horse and looking at the path ahead, assessing what's going on. So that's what you've got in your past events, Gerald. What are your thoughts?
I think this is definitely a slow and steady. This is and that's 466 days of writing. It's a daily thing. I am really drawn to the key around his neck or the knight's neck.
Get a wee close up, guys.
And I actually think I appreciate your word perspective. I've not necessarily associated that with the knight before, but looking behind the knight, you can see the road that has been traveled. And it's working with the horse instead of using the horse.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And sometimes it's good to get your feet on the ground and connect to the ground directly, not just have somebody tell you what it's like to be connected to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. yeah, we need to be grounded, and you get that kind of idea. Like he's wise, and he knows that if he just keeps, keeps on top of the horse, riding the horse the whole way, the horse is going to get tired, and he's going to need to stop altogether. Whereas
Right.
if he gets down and he walks alongside the horse has some time to kind of rejuvenate a wee bit, and they can still travel whilst they're doing that. So yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And I love that you've noticed the path in the background. Hadn't even thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
We see the
Yeah.
pentacles on his key around his neck too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really nice. And what's interesting is as we look at the cards right now in the spread, the
Hmm.
Star and the King of Wands are fairly dark
Oh,
cards. The Eight of Cups is a dark-ish card, but the Knight is a card that is fairly light. So it's like the Knight is in daylight,
yeah,
and the Star and the King of Wands are actually in dark.
yeah, that's a really good point.
Which again, that light and dark goes back to that soul card.
Yeah, yeah,
So
pretty cool. Um, Sorry, I'm getting all caught up looking at these cards. I've only had this deck for just less than a week, so I'm still kind of at all in love with it. I'm still in the honeymoon phase. So if I just zone out for like a wee second or two, don't mind me. I'm just kind of
well, and
gushing over my cards.
what's interesting is when you and I were chatting about this, and last time we used the everyday enchantment, and you were
Mm,
asking what deck do we want to use, and I think I was typing in, oh, we could use the Tarot of the Abyss, right as you were typing. You had suggested Tarot of the Abyss as well.
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah,
well, we're doing the Tarot of the Abyss, which is
yeah,
interesting because everyday enchantment is all bright and colorful, and this card is two-toned.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah. So I'm normally a color guy. Normally, color is kind of quite important to me. But
mhm.
let me tell you, this deck sits right beside my Lightseers Tarot, right on the front of the shelf, right beside it. It's like instant promotion. Um, this is a pretty special deck. Okay,
Have you tried to use them together?
how do you mean? Sorry.
The Light Seers and then the Tarot of the Abyss?
No, I don't combine tarot and tarot. I don't combine different tarot cards together, neither I do. That's not something I've ever done. I'll sometimes pull an oracle along with a tarot,
Yeah.
or Lenormand and tarot, or all three, but I've never done two tarot decks in a winner. Have you?
I have, and actually, when we're done with this, I'm going to lay out this spread using the Everyday Enchantment to see what it looks like.
Right, right, that would be cool.
So,
Right, let's see what our lovely readers of the round table have got to say. I'm really trying to like drive home that phrase, aren't I? I'm not even conscious. I'm not doing it on purpose.
it
I'm just
just
being
reminds
cheesy.
me of the Monty Python, Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Oh, somebody's saying hi to Hen. Oh, there you there. Speaking of whinging in the cold, hey all. Oh, you got did you get that as well?
Yes, I have Oracles of Echoes, and Jonathan's wanting to get this deck to pair it with this. So
Yeah, yeah,
jealous,
definitely.
Jonathan?
Yeah, are you jealous, Jonathan? Are you?
Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that!
Right, let's see if we've got any comments on the reading. So we're all talking about
Ooh, Jen's
aircon
here.
and the heat.
Jen's here, so I gotta cover up. I'm really cold. Sorry, but
Uh,
I'm the king. I'm the king of wands, so I'm hot.
You've got instructions from Mendy. Stop trying to lure Neem. If she goes on any channel, it better be mine, she says.
I totally respect that. We have Mindy to blame for getting me on alive, but it's it's Mindy's channel and then my channel, and then Neem will be off. Not available for a year because she'll be in therapy, she said.
Um,
Are we being a little chaotic for people? Welcome to Gerald's brain.
Are you seeing any comments on the card?
I am not seeing any. Well,
not.
I'm not seeing any comments because
Okay.
Richie is going to go cold turkey and not buy any more crystals. So
Right. Okay.
why?
Well,
So
have you got enough crystals, Richie? Are you done for now? Right, okay, that's fine. If anybody does want to comment on the card, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. It's in the kind of a recent past type position. So that's what that is. And you can see Gerald's question scrolling along the bottom. So comments in capital letters helps me just see it.
mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on. So we're moving on to the top. Now, some view the top card as a possible outcome. I do think that it is that, but more than just that, I think it's kind of a like what we're what we're consciously aiming for at the moment. You know, what we're working on, where we're aiming. I'm using the word aiming too much, so let's just call it the aim.
Yes, I like that.
Oh, and we've got the lovely Four of Wands. What a lovely card to get. So there's a wee bit of a celebration going on here. Which is nice. We all love a nice bit of cake, don't we?
Oh yeah, and I didn't bake any cookies.
Gerald didn't bake cookies out of courtesy because he knows that I'm on a diet, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But it wouldn't have bothered me, just so you know.
Yeah. Four of Wands.
Four of Wands. What do we think when we see Four of Wands? I think of validation. I think of achievement, and I think of validation. So that suggests to me that what you're working on right now is getting to that stage where you actually feel as though, you know, your journey that you're on, you know, the whole idea of step being the focus. You're looking for something that's going to say, yep, this is why I'm doing it. You know, this is why I did that. This is why I put myself through those 460 gajillion days of writing. You know, this is it. This is the culmination of it, and this is why I put myself through that to get to this stage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're seeking that kind of a validation. Now, what's interesting is I don't see in that card what that actual validation is. You know, um, it might be, you know, recognition from someone else. Um, it might just be that kind of a stabilizing force that we associate with the fours. You know, that kind of emperor energy. Um, what do you think? Talk to me, because I'm just talking around my
I think
spirals now.
what this is this is what's going on right now.
Right.
It feels very nice to be chatting with you 6 months after the last one. There's confirmation about how I am feeling myself. You're putting words to it. People in chat are being very supportive and very realistic. They're not just blowing hot air.
Yeah.
And it feels very solid. It feels I want to say the word secure. It's like, okay, this is okay. This is good. I mean, and I think Jonathan said, you know, having your cake and eating it too. But I want to share that cake with everybody, not to, you know, misquote somebody famous, but you know, it just feels good. And actually having it opposite the eight, below it is the Eight of Cups. I think it's the, okay, we know what we want, and let's appreciate that that fire that is starting to really burn within me and to grow.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely.
it's a celebration.
See as well, just like listening to you speaking and looking at the image as you were holding it up, like when I look at the fire on that card, what is its actual purpose? It's the candles on the cake and it's to commemorate
Uh-huh.
something, you know. It's used to symbolize something and, you know, commemorate or what's another word? Like what am I trying to say? You know, celebrate,
It's
celebrate
a
something.
celebration.
Yeah, yeah, celebration of the what's come before,
Right.
the
I
good, the
mean,
bad, and the ugly.
and Tara Sachet is in the card, right? She's,
Yeah.
there you go.
Hang on,
There
let me
you go.
embiggen you. We can't have Miss Sachet just being a wee
Woo!
square in the corner.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Blowing out the candles. Blowing something.
Right, Sachet, back in your corner. Uh, um, I'm so going to get loads of no one puts Sachet in the corner comments after that, aren't I?
It's okay. I've never seen that movie, so it's okay. It's okay. We'll get comments about the fact that I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, what, Dirty Dancing?
Dirty Dancing, I've never seen it.
Right. I think I have seen it, but not in a long, long time. We should do a watch party. We should watch it together.
Oh geez. And Tangi's like, what? There's the remix. Nobody puts Sachet in the corner.
uh,
Oh gosh. Sorry. We got
feeling
distracted.
Um, Justin thinks it's about feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
I hate when people blow hot air. Keeping it real, Gerald. I like the 4 with Page of Knight of Pentacles. So stable all the way around. Stable fire and stable night, i.e., night being influenced by air. And I think Danielle said something else about the night above. Night seems like a good foundation card driven by building the situation with stability. Yeah, getting those stable foundations in order to kind of have this kind of a 4 that I didn't quite
Yeah.
point to there. um, Oh, there we go. Outrage. Regina, I don't go anywhere near vomiters. Never one to hold someone's hair back. What was it?
Oh, Tangi has a request for you.
Oh. Yes, Chris, please say loudly and slowly. No, especially in the corner. I can make a remix of it. Do you know what I think we should do? I think that Taro Sachet should be the one to say it.
No, but you have to say it because your accent is awesome. You
Oh,
say
okay.
it, and I'll thwart the fan.
Okay. Oh, in that case, let me just. No one puts Taro Sachet in the corner. Right, what one were we on? We were on this one? Yeah. You're welcome, Tangi. Jackie's saying it as well.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So that was our kind of a top card, and then we look to the kind of a near future. We look and see where the current situation might be feeding into, what's going to happen next. And we've got our lovely 6 of Wands. So aiming for the 4 and getting a 6, that's never a bad thing, by the way, because the 6 is like, it's not just validation. It's not just getting to first base in your cricket game or your rounders game or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's getting all the way around. It's making that a home run, you know. So don't be scared to, like, if you set a target. I'm going to use, you know that I always use weight loss as an example because it's
Mhm.
it's where my head is right now. But if I set a target to lose 2 stones, so for the Americans that's 28 pounds, there's nothing to stop me going beyond that and losing 42 pounds if I want to, or or more, just depending on how I'm feeling and how I feel that I'm doing, you know. So don't be scared to, like, you know, set a realistic goal, aim for that, but it looks as though you're going even further than that, Gerald. Um, so this is looking good so far to me. This is looking as though it's going in the right direction. You've made that decision to kind of step out the door. There's, it's involved kind of a slowing down and taking some time to get some perspective. You know, you're aiming to have that validation to kind of have that, just that reassurance, and what you've got in return is like that you know everything's harmonized. This is, you're on the right track. I don't want to say it's absolute and total and complete victory because we're only on the six and there's still a wee bit to go. But, as far as the wands go, this is a really, really positive place to be, and you're headed there right now. So I've talked enough. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a great follow up to the 4
Yeah.
because and the 6, comparing it to linking it to weight loss. You compared that to bags of sugar,
Yeah.
and the idea of it's um put well, hell, it's about the steps. It's taking the steps, and the steps get us to where we're going. This
Definitely.
person who is taking this bow did not start with putting on the ballet shoes and immediately being able to dance. They went to dance lesson. They feel the music, and I think this is a card that to me suggests the union of aspects of themselves and invigorating themselves. It's feeling that music through the body. It's feeling that creativity in the body and allowing it to come out rather than stifling it.
Yeah,
So, which is a
definitely.
beautiful placement for it. I mean,
That is.
so
I think as well with the Six of Wands, one thing that I always like to emphasize and, remember for myself, it's not just about, right, victory, take a bow, I've won, everything's great. It's so much more than that because if you think about the energy that's in that, well, room, or it looks as though it's actually in a forest or something that looks as though it's trees behind it, but I'm not sure. But anyway, if you think of the energy that's in this space, you know, the crowd is loving it. The crowd is all cheering for her. They're living vicariously through her achievements,
mhm.
seeing her succeed and be victorious is energizing the crowd. They're cheering for her, and she's getting, she's feeling pride. She's getting all sorts from their encouragement and their cheers. So there's this big, beautiful exchange of energy that goes on in the Six of Wands. Um, I feel as though what this is saying is that at some point very soon, there's going to be like a kind of do I want to say momentous? That feels a wee bit dramatic, but if we take it with a pinch of salt and bear in mind that I am being dramatic, it feels like a momentous event that everyone is going to celebrate you for.
Hmm.
And there's going to be this, everyone's going to really appreciate it because not only does it benefit you, but it benefits everyone else as well. So
Wow.
that's where I feel as though this is going. I feel as though there's something coming up that, it's just going to,
And that
yeah,
actually goes with the reading that I got from Tangi.
right?
That there was going to, it was like I was hosting something, and it was a big deal, and it was everybody benefited from it, from it. So that's interesting. That Yeah, it could certainly be that. So
Amazing. There we go. We're great minds
wow,
think alike, Tangent.
there you go.
Let's see. Justin says my comments are bad enough on context. Hashtag no filter. Call Taro Stash 13 times into a mirror and she will appear, says Richard.
There you go.
Jackie, the sex of wands. I say quite clearly said 6, the number 6. That's all right. Jackie's allowed to pick on my accent. Can't wait to see that, Tanji. Your kitty one was fabulous, says Henrietta. There's Sashay on her stage with all the applause, says Jonathan.
Wow.
Come on, baby, light my fire, says Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is about having humility with success, says Justin. Oh, sorry, that's a private conversation that I'm nosying into.
That's all right. Peter's actually fighting Warcraft.
If you think about what a bow is, it's being humble before a crowd. Because in days of old, arrogance wasn't celebrated like it is today. Okay.
That's interesting.
Thank you, Jackie. Make me blush.
Chris, just to, if Jackie were to want to come on to my channel and do something, would you co-host?
Yep.
All right, Jackie.
Absolutely. No hesitation. If Jackie is going to be somewhere, then that's a place that I want to be. So, Jackie, get it sorted.
It'll work. Hi, Nancy.
I'm running out of liquids. Right, okay. Next card. How are we doing for time, by the way? What time is it that do you need to be off by?
I need to be done in an hour. So we're good.
We're good. Okay. We've only got 4 cards left, so we should be doing good. This is where we start to have a look at. Whoops. I don't think it really matters now. This is where we're going to start to take a look at, the situation itself and what is being, put into the situation. So the next 2 cards are going to be about, firstly, what are you putting into the situation? So if we think about the question, if we think about, step, that journey, what energy are you putting into that, contributing to it? And then the card after that is going to be outside influences. So what is basically the rest of the whole wide world, kind of a throwing back at you almost, to put it that way. So for you, we've got the world. We've got the whole wide world.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Right, okay. Why do you say that?
Well, all of these other cards have been so positive. I was expecting it to be a bit. I was expecting the shadow aspect of stuff. While that being said, there can be a shadow aspect. There is a shadow aspect of the world, but it's okay.
Yeah, right, okay. So the world is a card that I often find. It's not hard to kind of look at it and know what it means in my head, but I always find it really difficult to put it into words what it is that I'm seeing in the world, because it's one of these cards that it's almost like words can't do it justice.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular world, I mean, to describe the image, what we're seeing is the Ouroboros and the lemniscate and the infinity shape, or the number 8. But I would look at it more as like a lemniscate. We see this kind of a eye, and I'm presuming here, but this looks like a kind of a wizened eye. This looks like an older eye, and whereas here we see the kind of the baby, or even the fetus, the unborn child still inside the womb. So it's kind of an appreciation that the end of one thing is the start of another. You know, nothing really truly, comes to an end and just stops. You know, how many times have you heard that, energy can't be destroyed. Energy just transforms into something different, and that we say that because it's true. It's not just true in a kind of a metaphysical sense. It's true in a scientific sense. You know, as far as physics and chemistry is concerned, that there's a finite amount of energy in the world, and it just kind of goes round in cycles, kind of like what we see here.
Uh-huh.
So sorry, need to rein myself in because I'm
No.
conscious I'm going off on a tangent. Um, we're asking ourselves here, what is it that Gerald, what is it that you are putting into the situation? I mean, for one thing, you've been able to do this and know that it's going to kind of, that there's still a path ahead of you. You've had the courage to actually step out that door to empty that cup, and make that decision. So there is definitely an appreciation that the end is not the end. It's just a new beginning, and you've put that into practice.
Hmm.
So I definitely see that in the situation, and the world as well. I think is about appreciating what we have. It's about appreciating, it's about that bliss, that fulfillment, and just knowing when to appreciate, using that word far too much. But like what we have, and what we've built so far, where we've come to so far. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I
Um,
understand what you mean. And I think of the world um in the similar way that I think of the 10 in the minor arcana, where the
okay.
9 is the completion of the suit and the 10 is waiting for it to start over. And the world feels like that. So when I look at this, the wisdom here is being ready to be shared and rejuvenated.
Yeah.
And there's the continuation. It's like a reincarnation aspect.
Yeah.
Um, and I also think is, if I hold the card like this, it is what is going on in the King of Wands hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is exactly what's going on. It's like
Absolutely.
and that is what I've done in the last couple of weeks when I've taken a sacred pause and gone, what do I want to do? I'm okay with that. And it's an interesting balance between that.
Yeah.
So, and it is an 8, so it does relate to the 8 of Cups. So,
Yeah. That's true.
and it's a snake, so there's that transformation aspect of it and the shedding of the skin. And because, like I said, I'm going to be focusing everything on YouTube onto Tarot Stash.
Right.
So it's a shedding and it's a transformation.
That'll
So
definitely be that'll be worth seeing. So we're going to see more of Taro Stash.
you're going to stuff will be coming out on Tarot Stash. That'll be the focus because it's hard to balance 2 channels.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I can imagine.
so
Right, let's see. Deanne, you little minx, trying to make me blush. Uh, Neem.
there you go.
Uh, Ms. Neem, there's an expression that people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Um,
I've already got creative ideas if Neem don't want to show her face. I mean, I've got extra trolls. I can make a Neem troll.
oh my goodness.
And it could literally be Tarot Stash and the Neem troll in front of the camera. We just have to have our voices. I mean, we can make it happen.
That would be so cool. I need to sticky note the positions on the table in big writing, says the Tony. Um,
Yeah,
and
but
then,
this just to give you know, Elemental Cartomancy. Go to the you've got this under your spreads one, the playlist.
Yeah. I've got a playlist on my channel. People called Love the Spread, Spread the Love.
Yeah.
And within that, there is, there's a video on the Celtic Cross. Now, if you don't, and I completely understand, if you can't be bothered sitting through however it is I'm whittering on for half an hour, in the description I've written out, or typed out rather, what all of the position meanings are. And I think I've done that for all of my spreads videos, so check it out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gerald.
It's the shameless promotion. Like and subscribe.
Let's see, he's got the whole world in his stash. He's got the whole world in his stash.
Sorry, Mindy, you'll get to it.
I'll get there, right, okay. I swear I don't think I've ever done a reading with this deck and not seen the Empress, says Justin. Right, that's cool.
Well, yeah, Justin, you got that a lot when we were doing a reading.
Yeah, we've got 3 more opportunities for her to show up, haven't we?
Yeah.
Aspasia Rising says, late to the party, per usual, but glad to be here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Aspasia. It's lovely to see you. The tricky thing about the world for this is that you really must be putting all you have into it.
Yeah.
Can you say world in Chris's accent, Tangy? Says Jackie. Tangy says, oh yes, Jackie, I've been talking to myself in a Heaney male Scottish accent for the past 25 minutes.
This is where, I would love to actually have a channel takeover and have people pretend to be me and on my channel. I think it'd be great. I mean,
that would be so cool.
Email tarotstash@gmail if you want to do that.
That would be really cool. I really want to see, because there must be some really good kind of impressionists in the community. There must be. And even if you don't feel as though you are, there must be someone that you're good at doing an impression of. It's not going to cause offense. That is.
I have a hard enough time doing tarot sachet consistently,
Let's see. Psychic development is working. Yeah, Jonathan says it's hard enough balancing one channel. I don't mind showing my face if I can just sit quietly, says Neem.
Do you honestly think you would be able to sit quietly with me interviewing you? I mean, we'll take bets on how long it'll get you to laugh hysterically.
Okay, I'm willing to pass Neem over to you, Gerald, if it means a Neem troll. The price to buy out her contract, though, is a Mendy troll too.
There are amazing things that can happen.
You know what this guy is like, though, Mendy? You know he's going to have one done within 5 minutes of this live ending.
No.
I get... Oh my goodness. Oh, I really shouldn't scan read things. So what Neem says is, I get super duper over anxiety brain farts, can't talk. What I read was, I get something to do with being anxious and farting when you're anxious, and that's why she doesn't want to come on alive with you.
That would be
oh my goodness.
Awesome. That would be an awesome live,
Oh, I genuinely thought that was what Neem was saying there. I kind of wish I'd just left it at that and I hadn't reread it. Because, yeah, I am no stone thrower, Chris. I just caught the tail end of the conversation. Okay, I heard it all, but I figured I'd just take the end of it and look for an alert.
And Jackie was like, same name. Can I sit quietly? I can send you prepared questions so that you can figure out your answers and you can type them out.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. But Gerald, maybe you could do Roman Biscotti, says Tangy.
Now, Tangi's going to be on my channel, and that could be awesome because it could be Roman and Sachet. Could show up. This could be pretty. I mean, it could be incredible. It could actually be the world. It would be everything. So.
Oh, really nice message from Jackie. Right, shall we shift on to the next card? So
Yeah.
this is where we're looking at take a wee nosy at the environment around Gerald and see what kind of a impact, influence this is having on Gerald in general, but in particular the question that he's brought for us today. So how is Gerald's environment, the people around him, the literal environment affecting his question? Right, okay, we've got the Nine of Wands, so we know that I mean, it's not the most negative card, but we're really getting lots of wands, aren't we? Can we just,
Yes.
can I take a minute to appreciate that? Like, what is this, the one, two, three, fourth wand card in the
Yeah.
pack? And if we associate the Knights with fire, then it's the fifth fire card. So yeah, the Nine of Wands, people. So it's funny because when you think about the question in general, when we think about the fact that you've taken this pause, looking at these two cards together would suggest to me maybe the reason that you've taken the pause or you felt the need to take the pause, it's not anything to do with what you're doing. It's more like kind of a outside influences. It's more what is being expected and asked of you from the outside. Maybe if you're not feeling a wee bit kind of maybe a bit worn down, and I feel as you get that kind of a feeling as though I'm not sure how much longer I can go on like this.
Right.
I'm going to have to stop soon. The only thing to tag on to the end there is the Nine of Wands. Whilst we see someone who's battle scarred, they're war torn, and they're in. It does look as though they're going through a bit of a hard time. This chap needs to remember that he's at the nine. He's almost at the finishing point. You know, um, and with that nine energy, it doesn't always have to be negative. It depends on how you harness the fire. So that's a lot of speak there from me. But just you're always going to have there's always going to be expectations unless you go and live in a hut in a forest somewhere where nobody can find you. There's always going to be outside expectations of you. But I think it's how you manage that. And if we come back to our King of Wands, the manager of fire, if you want to call him that, um, I think it's about how you kind of harness that power. And sometimes it's about saying no to people, and sometimes it's about saying fuck off to people.
Yeah.
So sorry, yeah. What do you think, Gerald?
I think I look at this card and I can't this thing right here. It looks like a toilet seat, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does now that you say that. I just thought it was a hat, but um,
You know,
yep,
and
yep, I can see it now.
and sorry if I've ruined this card for everybody, but and what's interesting is um it's the Nine of Wands, but he's also holding a sword and he's leaning on the sword while he's grabbing the wand, which
Yeah,
is
yes.
larger. So it to me it the environment it is there's a lot of energy exchange, but I also think it's a balance of knowing when to say, like you said, knowing when to say no or fuck off,
Yeah.
or this is I'm taking my toys and I'm going home. Um, and and this may have actually been, this is, no, it may not, it's not May. This is how I was feeling before I took the pause.
Right. Okay.
It
Okay.
really was. And it was like, holy crap. This is not fun anymore. And I've been working hard at trying to find the joy in that. And so maybe it's it's the pause to make the wounds heal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely. It's funny that I was looking at the book here to see if I could see a description of what the hell that is.
yeah.
And it doesn't seem to say, but it's probably because I've scan read it. But what it does say here that caught my eye, it says his eyes are weary and mistrustful. He has spent too much time in the dark and yearns once more to feel the healing light on his face.
Hmm.
And that took me right back to what we were saying about the soul card, what we were saying about the star, and kind of just looking at the cards in general. Um,
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what does everyone else think about this? Have we got any further thoughts on the cards that are being pulled? Neem says that is going to be such an awesome live TNT, Stash, and Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's feeling passionate to achieve what he's working on and to break out from his norm. Mendy needs to run to feed the growing boy. Thanks for the fun chat and great reading, Chris and Gerald. Thank you so much for being here, Mendy. It was lovely to see you. And tell Liam we said hello. Fight through that blockage. Go for it, says Jackie,
Yeah.
in capital letters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tanji says it does look like a toilet seat. Justin sees this as being about preserving. Uh, Toastmasters with. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Suspect. Neem, are you behind?
Neem,
Like,
Neem and Justin were talking about coming on my channel and being scared
oh,
for talking in front
right.
of people, and it's okay. I mean, I'm here when you want to lean into that and get lots of support, because I can definitely be the King of Wands for you and help support you if you want to do that.
Yeah. Regina says there's a strange kind of vulnerability if that is a toilet seat for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I suppose that's true. Um,
Yeah.
I think that Nine of Wands is about being watchful and being watched, says Regina.
Mm.
Kristen's saying I missed everything, so no, I don't apologise. I hope you're doing okay, Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen.
Um, the more you do something, the easier it gets, says Justin. Persevering. Is that what you meant to say when I said preserving? It's about persevering. Yeah, true. Right, penultimate card, the ninth card, is about hopes and fears. Um,
Mm.
both hopes and fears. So sometimes we might take a look at the card and think, right, okay, well, this is more fears. Sometimes we might take a look at it and say, this is more what I'm hoping for. Sometimes, though, just with the way that the human psyche works, we fear our own success because it brings about change. So sometimes hopes and fears are one and the same. So hopes and fears card. Oh, and we've got our Ten of Swords. Now, Gerald, I am using this Ten of Swords.
Okay.
Now, I'm interested to know, have you got the same one in your deck, or are you using the stabby Ten of Swords?
I actually still have them both in my deck.
Oh, are you using both? Like,
Well, yeah, because they mean different things.
yeah, And the two threes as well. So you're dealing with an 80 card deck.
Well, yeah, because I'm an overachiever.
That's true. You getting your card.
Because sometimes, and the reason I do that, Chris, is it's one of those things. I do that because sometimes I need the slap in the face as the reader to be able to go, this is what we mean. It's not light and fluffy. It's painful, or it's, or
Yeah,
it's light and fluffy. So
yeah, absolutely. So 10 of Swords and Hopes and Fears. It's nice to have a card like that in the Hopes and Fears position, actually, because the way that I view the 10 of Swords is this, to me, is more of the kind of the upright 10 of Swords, if you will, whereas the other card that we see, in many decks, the Smith-Waite 10 of Swords, the alternative 10 of Swords in this deck, is more of the kind of a reversed for me. So to me, this can embody both hopes and fears. Okay, you've got this kind of and it's interesting that we see this swords card come in all of a sudden. I think this is the first we've had of the swords, isn't it? So
Yep.
we've had all this passion, all this fire, and then in the hopes and fears position, all of a sudden we have this air energy. We have this desire to gain knowledge and understanding. Okay. And that's coming in right at the end. It's like a kind of a wee, oh, by the way, just before you go, this is kind of important to me, you
Yeah.
know. Um, there's obviously the fear of, you know, I mean, the Ten of Swords can be about addressing your ego. I don't like to ego bash, and I don't like to say destroy your ego or kill your ego or anything like that, because I think, if you do that, then you destroy the self. But it's about bringing it under control, and the 10 being the culmination. Um, Swords for me, it's the journey of understanding the world around about us. It's the kind of a journey to gaining that understanding, gaining that knowledge, and crucially, being able to look at gain that understanding without ego. Okay, without having to, because the ego stops us. The ego is it can stop our understanding of things.
Yeah.
When you go out in the street and you see a tree, your ego thinks tree, because that's what it's been defined as, and that's the ego, that's the sword's energy. We've defined it as that, we've given it that name, that definition. We don't think, that this amazing creature is sucking in all of that carbon dioxide out of the air and giving us oxygen back. We don't think of, I wonder how many years old that tree is. That tree's probably older than me. We just think tree and we move on. Or not all of us maybe, but most of us. So tangent, going off on a tangent, I need to stop. So hopes and fears, it's about, hoping to gain that understanding, to look at the world through that lens and actually appreciate what you're seeing without the ego kind of holding you back in that way. But at the same time, that does mean addressing the ego, and it maybe means addressing aspects of the shadow that we've maybe not traveled to before.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I see in that card, and it's interesting that it's kind of takes the reading in a slightly different direction. Like I say, it's almost like that PS at the end of the letter, or that kind of oh, just before you go, sorry, I know this isn't really relevant to what I was saying, but
Yeah.
10 of Swords.
Yeah, you suck. I love you and all, but you suck. Well, this is the put your ego into check card. It's the okay. And what's interesting is we have this older person who could be an older version of the King of Wands.
Absolutely, yeah.
Could be an older version of the King of Wands. And Jeffrey, his animal totem is an owl. So I find it very interesting that the owl will help keep me in check, because it's the 10 of Swords. It's for me, it's all about the self-talk and allowing what others are saying or what they're thinking to sneak in. So I need to be realistic with that and keep it grounded.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
love how the wisdom in this owl is complemented by the youthful look in the man's face.
Right.
It's
Okay. It's
it's
interesting.
yeah, it's an interesting match because so we've gone from we had the four of wands, the six of wands, the nine of wands, and the 10 of swords. So there's that
Yeah.
progression. And I don't know about you or others, but I am, I have to be careful what I say to myself and the words that I use, because those can really block me and prevent me from being my maximum power. They can extinguish my fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Um, who was it that said? I think it was someone on Tarot Tube. Chris Yao said, um, when you get into that space, when you get into that place of self-criticism, ask yourself how you would feel if someone was saying these things to like your best friend or the person that you care
Yeah.
most about in the whole wide world. If someone was saying that to them, how would it make you feel?
Yeah.
And if, like most of us, your answer is it would make me feel angry, it would make me feel protective of that person, etc., then, you know, give yourself permission to feel that way about yourself and don't
Exactly.
be so kind of harsh to yourself. One of the many things that I'll say that's a lot easier said than done, but it all starts with kind of just acknowledging that, I think.
Yeah.
Um, let's have a wee look and see what everyone else thinks. You may feel beleaguered, but the cycle is almost complete, and then new things and new energy. Sending love to Kristen. We absolutely are. Don't keep your back against a wall. Be willing to step forward, says Jonathan. Uh, stabby stabby hashtag overachiever, says Jackie. Totally agree with leaving all the cards in this deck. I love the new images and it does highlight different things, says Danielle. Whoops, that jumped like nobody's business there. There we are. Tony, you faced adversity to become the what? The cow?
Maybe the
I don't,
owl.
oh, okay, the owl. Um, you have much experience and knowledge. It's behind you and stand steady in your new space. Um, Neem, love that Ten of Swords. When you look at that one compared to the Nine of Swords in Rider-Waite-Smith, where you hide from and are tormented by your thoughts, whereas here you face it head on, ready to deal with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
I see this one as attainment of wisdom. That's what we hope for, but be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
feared.
That's the other thing. Careful what you wish for. The
Yeah.
owls are not what they seem. I need a log. I should get a log. Yeah.
A log of what?
Just a log for Twin Peaks, the log lady.
Oh, right, okay.
It's all right. Regina gets it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Facing your cutting thoughts and learning the wisdom within them, says Jonathan.
Which goes back to the soul card, because if I'm using my light to go to look at the stuff that's hidden, I'd rather
Yeah,
go in willingly and be willing to look at it, or to because and then that way it's less of a battle and it's more of a dance and it's more of an understanding rather than
yeah,
battling, because the nine of wands, it's battle weary,
yeah,
whereas this 10 isn't battle weary. It's more of okay, we understand that we don't agree with each other, but let's figure out how to move forward so that we can start the swords all over.
yeah, yeah. Um, oh wow, you just gave me a brilliant idea for a new page in my current Bibliomantica book. Roman could be holding her selenite sword in 10 different poses.
Nice.
That would be cool. Um, or it could be like the flaming sword of the archangels to combine that sword with fire, says Regina. So kind of a bringing that into the context of the rest of the reading, which has been very kind of a fire dominant so far. We jumped there. See, we don't have control over everything, but we do have control over how we react to everything.
True. Very true.
As an end of a cycle, though, there may be worries about changes that may happen as more communication with a community is public. Partly that interpretation comes from combining previous cards. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thank you, Regina.
Yeah.
Justin's loving the Ten of Swords. It's also about respecting your elders.
And there's an interesting thought about that was perhaps I'm becoming an elder and in a certain aspect.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. I just felt needed to say that out loud. When do you transition from a knight and a king to an elder? I don't know.
Interesting. I mean, if we're talking in the context of that was probably a rhetorical question, but I like to try and answer rhetorical questions.
Yeah.
If we're talking in the context of the knights, the courts that we have on the table here, so we've got our Knight of Pence, and I think his transition to the King of Wands comes with, learning how to embrace that fire, that he's got, that he maybe holds back on because constantly like has the end game in focus. Constantly everything I do needs to have a purpose. I can't possibly just use my fire just for the sake of it. Whereas the King of Wands is like, he's so comfortable in his ability to manifest that fire that he's like, I've got fire to spare, why not use it?
Yeah.
And that's where we get this kind of an energetic character from. At the same time, whilst doing that, we said earlier on, the King of Wands stuff does have this kind of this need to be the socially responsible. He needs to maintain the kind of a security of his kingdom, and with that, there needs to be this wisdom that we perhaps see in the Ten of Swords. I think where the transition from, if we're going to say there's a transition from this king to this elder, I think that you'll see it most in how and the people around about you and how they, what do they come to you for? Are they coming to you because they've, I need to inject some energy into this situation. Let's go to Gerald.
Yeah.
He always does that. Or are they coming to you because they're like, do you know what? I don't know where I'm going with this. I know someone who's really wise and who, if they've not done it before, then they're definitely going to have some ideas about where I can take this.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak to Gerald about this. He's the person that I need. And they seek comfort in your wisdom. That to me would be this kind of an elder energy. I see you as embodying both, to be honest with you, which is quite appropriate that you've got, right, at least right now, although you are moving away from it, you've got the Hermit Mage and Tarot Stash. So you've almost got this kind of like you're Batman and Bruce Wayne, you've got this dual aspect to the whole thing. Where you can take on both roles, and you do take on both roles really, really really spectacularly, if I can make you blush and give you a compliment.
Thank you.
I think that's do you know, maybe in answer to your question, Gerald, maybe it's not about, ceasing to be the king and becoming the elder. Maybe it's about realizing that you are both, and that you're always going to be both.
I like that. I like that because I mean the Hermit Mage is based upon a character that I, am books that I'm writing. So
Right. Okay.
so it's interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah. Justin said he wants us to pull page or card 10 so that he can drive home.
Right, okay.
But there's good chat going on. I was like going, it's like, I guess Tangi said they have log cushions on Amazon. So
nice. Right, okay. Card 10 is, your final outcome card.
Justin.
No, I don't see things as being, let's just say, I don't see things as being kind of a carved in stone and, we've all got this path that we're just going to follow whether we like it or not. The future is based on a series of decisions and non-decisions. Yeah, there's some things that are greater than us and we don't really have any control over, but a lot of the things are impacted by decisions. So let's look and see, what the final outcome is based on what we're doing right now. And of course, it's another Wands card. Gerald, we've got the 8 of Wands.
Wow.
I mean, really, the Wands have got a lot to say for themselves tonight, haven't they?
Wow.
Okay, let me just quickly catch up on some of the comments that were made there. Gosh, because I don't want to miss anyone who was commenting on the reading. That definition would make me a tarot elder, which is kind of weird to think about, says Regina. Let's see, because I always feel there's so much more to learn. I don't think I'll ever get there unless I live another 38 years.
Is maybe it's when we understand that we have more to learn, that's the elder mentality. I don't know everything. I have so much more to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose that, that takes us back there because that is about having an appreciation for the fact that there is no, ending. There's no kind of a, that's me. I've learned, to use the tarot as an example. That's me. I've learned all the tarot. I've got nothing left to learn. There is no, the true bliss, the true, fulfillment and achievement is knowing that, when you've got to one point, there's always somewhere else to go. Let's see. Justin says, Gerald, you are an elder. To me, you are. Whenever I have an issue, I go to you because you're always the adult. I don't mean that as a shot at anyone else, but it's true.
Thank you, Justin. That means a lot. I just want people to be successful. So
Neem has to go. I'll listen to Tarapedia. I know she's talking about it later, everyone. Bye, Neem. Like that saying, knowledge is power, but wisdom is knowing how to use that power and knowledge.
I love that. I use that all the time, especially when I do readings for people. It's like when you can know something, but knowing when to use it is even more powerful.
Yeah. Right, I'm getting to the bottom now, I think. A few obstacles and mastery is waiting for you, says Tony. Justin says, shit, no Empress. I love it. Stay organised, Gerald, and keep it moving. Bye, everyone. Bye, Justin. Tony says, I think this is relating to a specific project Gerald had underway and the completion of it after overcoming the bumps and finding his feet. Has a particular project that Gerald has underway. Hashtag overachiever equals elder, says Jackie. So yeah, to comment on the Eight of Wands, I mean, to me, it's the natural culmination of this reading. So it is quite nice to see. We've had, there's no getting away from the fire in this reading.
Oh my gosh!
Anything to take away from it, it's how much passion there is. in what you're doing, how much passion is involved in, you know, your endeavor, you know, the word of the year being step, and just the journey that you're on. Um, the Eight of Wands suggests to me, I mean, it's interesting, you know, the kind of the possible outcome or the aim is the four, and where we actually get to is the eight. You
Yep.
know, you're
Yeah.
aiming for that kind of that base stabilization, that basic stable force that's going to give you that validation, and it's going to tell you, do you know what, Gerald, you are on the right road. But what in actual fact you're ending up with is a system that is so stable. And this is where my definition of the Eight of Wands might differ from some people. So um, allow me to go off on this tangent, but for me, the Eight of Wands is where you've created a system that is so secure, it's so stable, that it gives way to this momentum, to this movement, to this energy that we always associate with the Eight. It's not just about all of this energy's happening and, oh shit, where's it coming from? You've, through discipline, through hard work, you've created, a, you know, an environment, a system, whatever it is that that you're working on, you've
Yeah.
created the space for that to happen in. And once you've kind of done that, you know, well, the Eight of Wands, your wands are flying through the air, or in this case, your birds are flying through the air. And even in all of the energy that we still see this formation. You know, we see this kind of this stable formation that allows them to kind of keep their bearings. You know, so we still do see that stability in the card.
Hmm.
And we see our wands are firmly rooted in the ground, kind of um, just setting out the path, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think that's a beautiful, really nice ending to the reading. And I think that you know, if we were going to summarize it in one sentence, it's just, you know, you've got this, you're on the right path. You know, even your past cards are, there's no really any negativity in there. I think you maybe need to watch for expectations that are put on you, outside expectations,
Yeah.
and don't kind of take on more than you can handle. But other than that, you're on the right track, and you know, you're on the road to having this kind of this high energy situation that you're kind of looking for. You know, and a wee bit longer, and then I'll stop. I do promise. The eight, you know, when we say high energy, it's kind of like, you know, it transcends your expectations. You aim to open up a small crystal shop and do some tarot readings, and what you end up with is a chain of shops that sells crystals. You know, it's
Yeah.
like your aim is one thing, what you're getting is like a whole other dimension. It's a whole kind of you know, it just totally exceeds everything you could have hoped for and expected. Um, and you know, obviously sitting right under it, we've got that 10, and the tens for me aren't just like the completion of a cycle, but it's the kind of a handing down that knowledge, you know.
Right.
And we talked about seeing yourself as the elder in this card. So maybe you you don't just kind of complete your own journey with the word step, but you're inspiring others to do so as well. And that's me. I'm going to stop there and stop talking around in circles. Gerald, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna write something down. So keep
Okay.
talking.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'll have a look and see
Oh
what the what's
yeah. Look,
happening.
because you inspired me to think about something. So
Okay. The question is, what is the project? Says Tony. We don't know yet.
well, I was just I was thinking I think of the Eight of Wands in particular. Looking at this, it gives me a feeling of the Tower in Lenormand because
Right.
it's the geese who are flying overhead so that they can see the long game. They have that higher perspective that's really needed. And you're right, it's double the four, which is pretty awesome to have those in that position.
Yeah.
Um, and I will totally take that. But so if I can visually put these together, because what we have is we have the eight above the nine, So you see that?
Yeah.
It's like that's the perspective that's needed, because in these mountains here, it's the Knight of Pentacles who, that's the journey that the Knight of Pentacles has been on back here. Has
Yeah.
gone through all of that. So I mean, it's pretty phenomenal how they link. Um, I'm really really surprised by the amount of wands. It's it makes me feel good, because it's like, oh, okay, I am doing the right thing. It feels very good, and it was smart of me. It was a wise decision. It was an elder decision to actually press pause for a little bit and to reframe.
Yeah.
So, damn. If y'all
Damn.
haven't done a roundtable reading with Chris yet, you really should. Contact
Yeah,
him. Do
so it's I'm open to anyone coming on, and this is, whether you've been on before, maybe you want to do what Gerald's done and do a wee check-in, or maybe you've not done it but you're interested in it. But either way, please do get in touch if you're interested. And what I'll do at the end when we're finishing up, and we are just kind of about to finish up, I want to quickly grab some comments here. I will put my email address on the screen so that you can see it. But let's quickly see. Let's swap us around again. And who uses a wand? A magician does. Just saying. Um,
And you have to have a lot of wands for different reasons, right?
yeah, I would imagine so. If it's anything like tarot decks.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many is too many tarot decks, and when you're not comfortable with them, I guess. Yeah.
Um, it looks like it's all information and taking flight, says
That's true.
Antoinette.
Yeah.
Go Gerald, go Gerald, go Gerald, says Jackie.
Thank
Um, Jen says, there's no doubt in my mind you'll get where you want to be, Gerald. I'm always inspired by how much you do.
thank you. I
Leading the
hope
flock.
it's meaningful. Yeah. I mean, I hope I do things that are meaningful and genuine and authentic, because I don't like, fake.
I I can tell you, Gerald, I don't think that there's anything you've ever done that hasn't felt genuine and authentic. I will absolutely say that for you. I'll tell you something else. Um, Sandy, my partner, has, he doesn't really take much to do with what I do here. He'll maybe duck his head in and make a wee comment here and there. But one thing he said is, you'd sent him a happy birthday message and he really enjoyed it. And he said to me a while later, he says, Gerald, he says, he's got a very trusting mustache.
Oh, oh, thank you. Thank you. Wow. A trusting mustache. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But like, honestly, like, I don't think there's anything that you've ever done that's not felt authentic or meaningful. So yeah, absolutely. Um, he's great and deserves it for himself. Um,
Y'all are
right,
making me
Jackie always has 10. You getting all hot and flustered.
getting all the clapped.
Um,
Thank you.
always has 10 gazillion things on the go, says Hen. And so caring about others. Absolutely. Tanji wants to know what your sun and moon signs are.
I am a Scorpio, Cancer, Cancer. I am all water.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't. Did I know you were Scorpio? Because I'm Scorpio as well.
I am a couple of days earlier than you.
Right. Okay.
I'm the third. So
I'm the first, so I'm
so
for you.
I'm at 2 days later. So yeah. So and
Well,
yeah, because I'm a Scorpio, Cancer, Cancer. And I'll tell you, the first time I had somebody do a reading for me, she was surprised at how much water there was in my chart.
Right.
because that's all water. And she's like, how do you manage it? And I'm like, going, I don't know. This is all I know. You mean you don't feel like this? You don't get an impression on somebody if when you hear their voice, you go, mm, or, oh, this person may not be trustworthy, but, so,
Yeah.
so hi, Scott. Welcome back.
Yeah. Hi, Scott.
Sorry.
Um,
I went and rambled there.
Tony's away. It's way past their bedtime. P.S. Look at the moon.
Yeah, it's a full moon tonight, or a full moon is tomorrow. So I'll be
Is
doing
it?
a little bit of magic work. So,
Oh, cool. My moon is Scorpio, says Tanja.
ah,
Oops, skipped it. Gerald is a beautiful man on the inside and out, says Scott.
thank you.
Um, Leander says, go the Scorpios. I didn't know you were a Scorpio, Chris. Yeah, I'm a Scorpio sun, Leo moon, Taurus rising. So all fixed signs.
Huh.
Um,
I don't know. I don't know much about astrology yet. So,
Me neither. Um, but I'm learning a bit about, so I can't tell you I know what the fixed signs are. So, Scorpio, do you know, I'm yapping on, Gerald, and I'm conscious of your time. So,
you're
tell
fine.
you what,
Keep
you
going.
sure?
Yeah, keep
I
going.
was just so Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius are the four fixed signs, and they're the signs that we see in the corners of the world card. Um, Fixed signs, I would associate them with Queen. Fixed signs are kind of about, getting the stuff done. It's about kind of a germinating the seeds, getting it firmly planted in the ground and getting the project up and running. Your cardinal signs are kind of like your king energy. It's like your kind of um, the very kind of a spark of creation and kind of a just overseeing the whole thing. And
Mhm.
then your mutable signs are, like very open to change. So they are. And that to me is night energy.
And so,
Um,
what are Scorpio, Cancer, and Cancer? Are they mutable?
Scorpio is fixed. Cancer, uh, hang on, what's the other? Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. So I think Pisces might be the mutable and Cancer might be the cardinal, but don't quote me on that. Leander says cardinal signs are a little bit like the ace. Um, Kristen is Scorpio, Sun, Aries, Moon, Aquarius, Rising.
Hmm. Wow.
Uh, Hen says my ex-husband is a Scorpio. I won't hold that against you.
You wouldn't, but I might hold it against your ex-husband. Sorry, we had to go there.
No, that's okay.
He's your ex for a reason.
Dean is Gemini, Jackie, but he definitely doesn't have the typical two sides. Sandy's Gemini as well, and Jackie's Libra. Okay, so I think that's us pretty much concluded the reading for today. Have you got any other thoughts, Gerald, just on the reading in general? You want to take another look at the soul card? Is it kind of, I suppose we've been looking at it along the way, haven't we? But you get any
Yeah.
other thoughts in general?
I'm just doing a layout. There's only two numbers that are repeated, and that's the 8. So
Right.
there's the 8 of cups and the 8 of wands. So at the base of this progression is the ability to be willing to let things go that aren't serving me, and the high energy exchange and the ability to see above and to lead the pack. Because then from there we go 4, 6, 9, 10, knight, king, star in the world. That's a pretty decent progression. Damn.
Yeah.
It's something that I do. It's hard to explain, but this has been great. I mean, it confirms for me the idea of it's good to take a pause and to move forward as I'm planning.
Cool.
So, wow. You're really
Well,
good at reading, Chris, if anybody hasn't told you. So,
thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
you're welcome.
So yeah, my face again. Hi. So yeah, guys, I'm wanting to kind of start this back up again because I do enjoy doing these roundtable readings. I just like reading for people in general, but this is just a wee bit different from your standard kind of a 3 card pools, doing live readings. So if anyone's interested in coming on and doing this with me, then my email address and my Instagram channel are at the top of the page. So please reach out, get in touch with me, let me know. If you've got me on Facebook even, then message me on Facebook and let me know. And I would be absolutely delighted to have you on at some point and do a roundtable reading.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gerald, that just leaves me to say thank you so much for letting us get our grubby little hands on your private business, or grubby little cards on your private business, I should probably say. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Should we do it again in January?
Why not? Why not? Let's do another 6-monther. Elemental Cartomancy and Tarot Stash.
Like and subscribe, people.
Thank you very much. Wow. Do you know what's interesting actually? So the next kind of a 6-month point would take us to, I guess, the 7th of January. My wedding is on the 8th of January.
Ooh, well, you'll be a little busy. You'll be panicky getting ready for stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll figure
But
it
yeah.
out. Wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, guys, thank you so much to everyone for being here. Gerald, thank you so much. You've been an absolute gentleman, and it's been my pleasure as always to have you on.
Thank you. This has been incredible. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Right, everyone, we're going to love you and leave you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And if I don't speak to you, have an amazing weekend, everyone. Bye.
Bye.